Are we live? Are we live? Okay, we are back. Welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to stay lean while building muscle mass. Now, you might be in two different camps right now. You might be a person, guy, woman, who has lost a bunch of weight. You finished your fat loss. You finished your reverse diet. If you haven't, check out this video. It's very important you do it. And now you want to build some muscle mass. You're nice and lean, and you want to focus on building the definition. You want to focus on building the tone at whatever rate you want. But you don't want to get fat again. Or you might be typically a young man, could also be a young woman, but oftentimes a young man who's just been like real skinny his whole life, real lanky. By the way, that used to be me. And you just cannot gain any weight. Irregardless of which of these two people sort of situations you can identify with, this video is for you. We're going to get you muscular while keeping body fat levels low. That's not easy these days with calories everywhere and people talking about bulking everywhere. So let's get into it. Now, there's obviously a bigger focus on this lean, muscular look now in a lifestyle connection than there has ever been before because of the whole hybrid movement, right? Back in the day, training and building muscle mass was just something that the bodybuilders did. Like, that was sort of like, oh, you have big muscle, oh, you must be a bodybuilder. That's what people thought. But now you have this whole movement where people are doing, running farmers carries and half rep wall balls and all this Hyrox SHIT. And people see it and like, oh yeah, you're a hybrid athlete, are you? Yeah, but you look pretty ripped. Okay, cool. That is more of sort of an accepted thing these days, right? And now the hybrid athlete who's been there the whole time has become a thing. And people want to look jacked, be lean without being a bodybuilder all of a sudden. I like that. It's pretty freaking cool. It's bringing the aesthetic physique back. You got abs, you got muscles, you feel good. You know, you're not on a ton of steroids like most of the bodybuilders are. You are not super big to the degree where you can't really function in real life and be, fit and functional, move around without having a heart rate of 180, just walking up the stairs. You want to be a fit human being that looks awesome and, set yourself up for a long, functional, and healthy life. Heck yeah, this is exactly what I do. I'm all about this. So let's talk about it. Why is it so hard though? Well, it's really freaking hard because it takes some knowledge. It takes some effort. It takes a different sort of effort that it took you to lose the weight. And it takes a whole nother different type of effort if you are one of the guys who's been skinny the whole life and all of a sudden now you need to learn how to gain weight. Most people fail this because they don't know what their TDEE is. Maybe they undershot their calories like crazy in the fat loss, and now all of a sudden you need to actually eat more because you got to eat enough to build muscle mass, but not so much that you regain and gain body fat. So you got to know what your TDEE is, total daily energy expenditure. It's not enough to gain muscle mass at your full potential, and it's not enough to gain body fat either. So it's like the middle point. If you stay at this, aka staying at maintenance, you will just maintain the way you are. Another situation we also find is people finishing the fat loss, and now they want to go into a lean building phase, but they fail to follow the structure after the fat loss. They remove it all and then they blow up like crazy. They call it bulking, and all of a sudden they're back to 25% body fat, and they thought to themselves, what the hell just happened? Now I'm going to break this down for you. Do not worry. But why should you trust me? My name is Christian. I work with Christian K Fitness. I work with people from all over the world, men and women, help them drop body fat, get functional, get healthy, get lean, look amazing, build muscle mass, all of the above, and maintain for the rest of your life. I am not a con artist. I'm not here to sell you any supplements, any products, any one-time purchase training plans that doesn't work. No, I'm just here to give you some advice. This is what I do every single day. This is my life. This is my job. It's what I've always done. It's what I will always do. It's how I put food on my table, okay? I am not a con artist. I just want to help. Let's go. So before we get into it, let's talk about the principles of the lean athlete. The person who looks good, the person who looks lean, that has muscle, that walks down the street and people looks at this person and they say, God damn, he got some good genetics, that man. Or, God damn, that guy's on steroids. People say all this kind of shit when they see people look better than themselves, right? This guy lives by a few rules. The guy who can stay lean and stay muscular, all right? he has high steps every single day in his life. He maintains a high activity level, not just through sports or whatever, but he's not afraid of walking, right? He's going to average at least 7,000 to 8,000 steps every single day, because he knows if he sits down on his couch all day, he's going to get lazy, he's going to start craving shitty foods, and he's going to get fat. So that's not what he does. Second thing, he's focusing on high protein in all of his meals. He is aware, or she is aware, that no muscle gets built without building blocks, without amino acids. So he eats, or she eats, enough protein every single meal. He or she will build her meals from a base of protein. He or she is not going to be happy inside if he or she is eating a meal that's just pasta and cream. That person would think, where's my protein? This person is also highly focused on sleep, because they know that without sleep, there is no recovery. There is no time for the body to produce hormones like testosterone or growth hormone. There's no time for the body to recuperate and wake up in the morning ready for another intense and effective training session where you have high HIV. You're ready to go into the gym with full energy to hit your exercises in the correct intensity, the correct RPE, correct technique, because you're not smashed and under-recovered. That person is ready to make sacrifices every single night in order to get 7 to 8 to 9 hours of sleep. It is a person that has a progressive approach to their training plan. A person who understands that you can't just go into the gym and lift the same type of weight every single day and expect to grow. It's a person who follows a plan that is pushing them just a tiny little bit every week or every other week, signaling their body to grow and to keep either preserving or building muscle mass. These principles, they don't change just because the fat loss stops or whatever previous phase you were in ends. These principles are here to stay. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the situation. We have two different ways of doing this. You are currently already lean and you want to build some muscle mass. Situation number one, you could stay at maintenance, meaning that you figure out what your TDEE is. You can go online, there's calculators everywhere. It's not going to be precise. It's just an estimation. It's just some sort of blueprint that fits no one, but sort of averages everyone, right? So you calculate your TDEE based on how many times you train every week, how many steps you're having, and all that stuff. You can eat that. That's called eating at maintenance. You can do a body recomp, meaning your body will dip into existing body fat stores, build muscle mass over time, etc., etc. You're going to stay lean. Amazing. It's not going to be as effective in building muscle mass as this next option. 5 to 10% surplus of your TDEE, meaning that you're going to eat a little bit more calories than you burn every single day, leaving extra building blocks in the shape of protein and calories to build extra tissue. We cannot create energy in our body. We are not a nuclear power plant. It means that if there's no energy available, you cannot build muscle mass. Well, you can, but just a very, very slow rate. So by eating a slight surplus of calories, 5%, 10%, you can, with the correct precision in your nutrition, your training, your sleep, and everything I just mentioned, prioritize those extra calories that are above your maintenance to be put into building muscle mass, not body fat. Because you know that if you eat extra calories and you don't train, you're going to get them curves. Those soft ones, right? Oh, yeah. So let's say that you are going with the 5 to 10% increase. I think most guys would like to do this. Most girls would probably want to stay at maintenance. At least that's my experience working with hundreds of people. Guys want to gain a little bit more muscle mass. Most girls just want to stay lean and over time do a body recomposition. No worries. We're going to focus now on those who wants to be in a 5 to 10% surplus. But I will break this to you right now, because I'm not about telling you lies. I give you the honest truth. You will gain a little bit of muscle. You will gain a little bit of body fat with your muscle. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. Just like there's no way around losing body fat without losing muscle mass. Unless you're injecting yourself with the pharmacy stuff that is taking years off your life, okay? Not recommended. But like I said, you get the truth here from me. So how do you know if you are building muscle mass? And how do you know if the deficit, if the surplus is at the right amount? Because if the weight goes up too fast, you're adding body fat, which we don't want. So here are the numbers that we want to try and expect. First and foremost, you need to weigh yourself every single day, of course, because without weighing yourself, how are you going to know if your body weight is changing? Your scale is probably the best tool at your disposal right now, along with body circumference measurements. But you should never do the body circumference and not the scale unless you have some sort of fucked up relationship to the scale that is really causing you some problems. You step on the scale every single day and you calculate your weekly average, and you're going to go by your weekly average, not your everyday weigh-ins, because we know that stuff is going to fluctuate. So every Sunday you add all the weigh-ins for the week together, and you multiply that by 7 or divide it by 7, and then you have your weekly average. Easy peasy. So if you can gain 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight every single month, then you are doing a lean gain, meaning that you are gaining lean tissue, not body fat. Now, I have run the numbers for you just because, it's nice to sort of hear this out. I can say all these percentages to you, but if I don't give you the actual numbers, it's not really going to click. So ChatGPT, thank you very much for the calculations. If you are a 70 kilo guy, I think that's about 155 pounds, you will lean gain, keeping mostly body fat out of the question, gaining muscle mass from 0.2 to 0.35 kilos per month. So this equates to about 2.5 to 4 kilos in a year, which is a lot, by the way. Might not sound like a lot to you if you're not in the realm of training. Like, gaining muscle mass is painfully slow, by the way, which is great because let's say 4 kilos of muscle mass, if you're lean, that is going to look amazing, look like night and day compared to before then, right? It doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it is massive. Let's say that we are an 80 kilo guy. So now we're looking at, is that 80, 175, 180 pounds, 185 pounds, something like that? We're looking at, up to 0.4 kilos every single month. So we're still under half a kilo every month. Again, that can then go up to half a kilo. That can then go up to 5 kilos every single year. Can you imagine that? 5 kilo increase of muscle mass. That is massive, absolutely massive. If you're a 90 kilo guy, we're looking at 0.45, up to 0.45 kilos every single month, which again can go up to 5 to 6 kilos every single year in just pure muscle. Don't underestimate how much 1 kilo of muscle actually what it looks like on the physique. It is a lot, trust me. And I think sometimes people get a misunderstood understanding of how much lean mass actually is visible in the body because they hear about all these steroid studies or steroid stories of people being on a cycle and they're gaining 10 kilos of muscle mass in 2 months. And that then you're like, oh, that's probably sort of what we can expect. That is not the realm we're living in here, guys. When you're doing this naturally, it is a completely different game. But let me tell you this once and for all, guys. When you gain the muscle in the lean way, in the right way, in the natural way, there is a much, 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 much higher percentage chance for it to stay long term compared to someone who's just injecting chemicals and just like someone who's losing weight with weight loss drugs, they're most likely going to regain again. If you did it naturally, there's a much higher chance you're going to maintain it long term. Right. As I said, you might gain a little bit of body fat throughout this process. So expect to maybe want to do a mini cut every 3 to 6 months. This depends on sort of how aggressive you went at it, how well you could stick to the plan, etc., etc. And gaining a little bit of body fat is not the end of the world, right? If I'm 10% right now and I go into a body recomp, and let's say in a few months I start seeing these abs a little bit less. I like to see my own abs. It's full transparency here. If I start seeing them a little bit less, I like to see this lower one. If I can't see that, then I might want to do a short little fat loss. But here's the thing: you could cut away a little bit of belly fat, or a little bit of body fat, because you have no more. In my case, no more body fat anywhere else. So when I lose body fat, it's mainly for my belly. I can do that in 2 to 4 weeks, and I can do a little mini cut, and then that's easy, and it will be exactly the same for you. You just go into a deficit, subtract, 250 to 500 calories from your TDE, stay like that for a few weeks, bump your steps up a little bit, boom, done. You'll be just fine. Let's talk about common mistakes when doing a lean gain phase. First thing is that you stop tracking. You think that all of a sudden now you're done with your fat loss, or you're done with whatever previous phase you're in before, and now you can just do whatever, right? You don't need structure anymore. You got it locked down, you're done. So why would you even worry about steps? Why would you even worry about the calories that you're eating? Because now you're going to eat calories. Now you're going to bulk up. Guys, it's going to leave you it's going to lead you to gain a lot of body fat again. All right. Keep your structure, please. Another thing we see guys do is that they start living their pre-fat loss lifestyle again. Again, like, it's a little bit related to the lack of structure and removing the structure, but all of a sudden now you just go back to living how you did before. You're going to blow up. Okay. Not advised at all. Remember the principles I said of the lean athlete earlier. Always live by those. Third thing, very common again, emotional eating. All of a sudden now you hit real life, things get stressful, and you start, treating yourself with, oh, I deserve this. My work week was really hard. I'm going to go to the pub and get drunk on Friday because, that's how I cope with stress, blah, blah, blah. All these sort of things. Emotional coping mechanisms with calories or alcohol is only going to leave you to gain body weight again. A lean athlete, a lean person that walks around lean every single day is not a guy that uses calories to suppress emotions, unfortunately. And this is not me pointing fingers or demonizing or talking bad about people who does that. This is just facts, right? We just want to have very direct communication here so we can get the points across. Another common mistake we see is uncontrolled holidays. Someone go on a holiday and they don't know how to enjoy themselves without pouring copious amounts of calories down their throat every single day. This is going to lead to big weight gain in just a few weeks, and you would have to do another fat loss again. So of course you would need to learn how to enjoy yourself on a holiday without gaining a lot. Most people fail at later stages of a lean gain phase because they become complacent, because they don't care as much anymore, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with taking a step into a fat gain, and then you have to do another fat loss, and you learn a lesson, and it's only going to lead to you making better decisions in the future and having a better focus, being more bit disciplined in the future. There's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. That is a part of your journey. Listen up, guys. Building muscle is slow. Building muscle is not sexy. The results are sexy, but building it, going through the motion, the discipline, the training is boring, it's repetitive, it's not sexy. You'll be doing a lot of training sessions alone. It's going to take a long time. It's not flashy, but of course it's worth it. This is where you show that you really want it, but it takes time. The results can change your life. You walk down the road and people look at you and they say, oh, this person have good genes, good genetics. Oh, you're on steroids. Oh, like you are forcing these type of self-reflections in people that make them say these like questionable things to you because it sort of just makes them feel shit about themselves. You looking that good has that power. It makes people come up to you and ask you, how do you do it? Like, how I want to do the same. It attracts people in a certain way. So is it worth it? Yes, 100%. If you ask me, it's worth it. But you have to understand it comes with sacrifices. You cannot live as the person you used to live as when you were 25 or 30%. You cannot live as someone who's injecting anabolic steroids, that's out drinking alcohol and eating Big Macs every single time because he's just a pharmacy and raging internal health, and it's not you. You have to live by a different standard, a standard that's defined by health, that's defined by actual physics. Well, I guess being an enhanced athlete is defined by physics as well. Just quite different numbers than you will. Also a shorter lifespan, as we see quite often now, people dying in their 30s left and right due to steroid abuse. Anyways, that was a longer video, guys, and I might have gone on to a few rambles here, in which case that was boring and you're still watching. I do apologize, but I appreciate you being here, watching the video and making it to the end. If you want professional help with all of this, check the links below the video. We do this with people from all over the world, hold you accountable, give you direction, support, everything you need, training, nutrition, lifestyle, everything. So click that link. Let's hop on a call and talk if that has any interest. If not, you watching this video alone is more than enough for me. Thank you so much for being here. May the gains be with you. The force of your gains be with you. I wish you all the best of luck on your journey. Drop me a comment, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you call it. If you want to support my journey and me putting out more of these videos and more free information, drop a comment with anything you want me to share my thoughts on. You can find me on Instagram at Christian Ken Fitness or just here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Peace.